Hello gang, welcome back to the office. I don't think I've ever shot in here at night. Different vibe though, huh? Kind of like it. Hey look, it is almost the 2-year anniversary of me releasing the video of my 7-day itinerary to the BVIs. That thing is nearing 100,000 views. Thank you very much. So I thought, why don't I share with you my actual routes from Navionics that I use when I go to the BVI. I'll take that exact 7-day itinerary and show you the routes, how to get from A to B, where to go, what cuts to go through, what cuts not to go through, how to get into Anegada, and all that good stuff. What do you say we do this together, huh? Well, I mean, we have to do this together because you're watching me. All right, so if you don't have Navionics, you really should get it on your iPad, get it on your phone. I know a lot of captains who just use it on their phone all the time. You always have cell service because you could operate straight from your phone if you wanted to using Navionics. So that's what I'm going to be using today. Okay, as we all know, we got to get to Tortola. And at Tortola, I am going to talk about leaving from 2 different bases. One is the moorings, and I'm just going to be doing it on my iPad and I'm recording it so you'll see, which is in Road Town, which is the big harbor there where the cruise ships come in. That's where you check into the country. One of the two or three places you can check into the country from there. But the moorings base is right there. It's a huge base, tons of sailboats, tons of power cats, hotels, restaurants. It's a great location. The other place we're going to be talking about leaving from is where MarineMax is stationed at Nanny Key, which is just a little bit south and west. It's a little smaller because it only has power cats, of course. They don't have any sailboats. So we're going to shove off from both of those locations. Now in my itinerary, we went counterclockwise around Tortola. Remember, you can go clockwise or counterclockwise. In the 7-day itinerary, I started off counterclockwise and I went straight to the baths. If you're leaving from the moorings, you're going to go straight east and a little bit north, not much, but just straight east, straight to virgingorda and the baths. Now that's from the moorings. Now if you're coming from Nanny Key, it's just a little bit longer and you go the exact same way all the way to the baths. Now, as I also said in my itinerary, you can park your boat, grab a ball right there at the baths. They have a perfect mooring ball field there. And if you do that, you have to swim into the beach. You can take your dinghy up to a certain point, then you got to tie it off and swim in. That's a great way to go. Now, as I said before, if you have some people who don't want to swim in, you want to go around the North Sound to Laverick Bay. So you would head north, kind of northeast, up around Gorda Island, and around into the North Sound and at Laverick Bay. Now, lots of people I know have taken the cut, not gone all the way around into the North Sound, but taken the cut in between Mosquito Island and Little Trunk Bay there. I did it once because I was following another moorings boat that I knew had a local captain operating it. So I figured, well, if he was going to go through it, I could probably go through it. I'll tell you, I felt like I almost skimmed bottom, so I don't recommend it. And as a matter of fact, both companies will tell you don't go through that cut. So let's just not, let's not risk it, right? I mean, we're on vacation. Let's take our time, go around Mosquito Island and come in from North Sound from the north, and it'll all be perfect. Now, as I said in my itinerary, you can grab a mooring ball there at Laverick Bay, grab a taxi, and go up and over to the baths. You can go to Hog Heaven, plenty to do around that mountain and on virgingorda from Laverick Bay. Now, on day 2, I talked about going straight to Anegada, but the North Sound has really opened up right now. So if you spend an extra day there, I think it's kind of worth it. Literally like a mile or 2 due east is Sabre Rock. You saw Sabre Rock in my last videos when I was there in last January, and man, is it gorgeous. The Bitter Inn Yacht Club is right next door. That is gorgeous. So I think it's actually worth an extra day grabbing a mooring ball at Sabre Rock or Bitter Inn and spending the day there. Another thing that has gotten really popular is Oil Nut Bay. Now, Oil Nut Bay, you just go straight through this little cut right there, take a right, and there's Oil Nut Bay. And they have a marina, slips. I'm not quite sure about mooring balls. I think they have some. You can also drop the hook there if you like, or you can reserve a slip. Now, Oil Nut Bay is also a 5-star resort. So if you want to grab a room, do that. I know some ladies who have done that during their charter and they've loved it, or at the end of a charter or beginning of a charter. Oil Nut Bay is a gorgeous place to stay. Regardless of that, the next day, you're going to make your trek to Anegada. Now, all the islands in the BVI are mountainous, hilly, what have you. Anegada's flat. You're not going to see it out there. You got to take off, use your GPS, because you're not going to be able to see the island. You can see all the other islands around the BVI, not this one. So you're going to take off and go. It's due northeast. and have a fun time sailing or motoring. It's just a beautiful, beautiful trip. Eventually you'll see Anegada, eventually. You do have to go in one specific area. There's a lot of coral reef, it's very shallow, so please pay attention to the markers going in. Remember, red right return, correct? So just do that and you should be fine. You make a few little sharp turns and you're right in there into the mooring field. Plenty of mooring balls, you can also drop anchor there. That's the perfect place to go at Anegada. And of course, we love going to Anegada because of the scooters and the damn cow wreck beach. Ugh, I want to go now. Oh, and of course, you got to have lobster. So it's just gorgeous. Okay, on the next day, I like stopping at the Dog Islands. I've talked about this on my way to Scrub Island. So you're headed back down kind of southwest, right, to the Dog Islands. You're going to pass up the Seal Dogs and you're going to go to George Dog Island. There's a place called Kitchen Point there. A couple of mooring balls. You can also drop the hook. There's a little private beach on George Dog Island that I highly recommend. There's also a mooring field on Great Dog, and that is superb snorkeling there. So if you're going to go to snorkel specifically, Great Dog is really the place to go. So, you know, we're going to spend the afternoon there, and then after we're done with that, we're going to go to Scrub Island. I've talked about this too. It's like a 4 or 5 star resort. You can grab a slip there, do the swim up pool. I've shown you all of that in the videos. Highly recommend. If you don't want to stay at Scrub Island, you can grab a ball at Marina Key. Now, Marina Key used to be gorgeous. It had a few hotel rooms, a restaurant that was fabulous. There's great snorkeling there too. And it's closed. It's gone. They tried to come back after the hurricane, but apparently it just didn't work out, so they're not there anymore. Just please beware of the ferries that are going back and forth from Trellis to Scrub Island. They go fast and they go pretty much all night, it seems like. Okay, next day, we're going to make our way to Jostvandyke and Foxys and all that business. But first, we're going to stop at Guana Island and specifically Monkey Point. You talk about diving, this is great stuff. There's always fish in the water. The seagulls are diving down trying to catch fish right in front of you. It's amazing. Mooring balls galore there. You can drop the hook there if you want to. You can also go up to White Bay, which is a beautiful sand beach there. But it's a private resort, so you have to get permission to anchor there and go in. But if you call them up, I think you can do that. Then later that afternoon, we're gonna make our way over to Jostvandyke and we're gonna park it right there in Great Harbor because that's where Foxy's is and we're gonna have fun. Now look, if you have an extra day, I highly recommend stopping at Cane Garden Bay. Cane Garden Bay has a huge mooring field and beautiful white sand beaches. Now look, we all know how great the sand beaches are on Jostvandyke, especially over where Soggy Dollar is. But if you got an extra day, Cane Garden Bay is very laid back. It's a beautiful beach, great restaurants. I love Indigo Beach Club, I think it's called. We ate there on our last trip and it was fabulous. And the houses there at Cane Garden are just gorgeous. It's a beautiful, relaxing setting. It's not a party place. It's just a relaxing place. So if you're looking for a wonderful, relaxing place to spend the night or spend the rest of the afternoon, Cane Garden Bay is a good stop. All right, but anyway, in my itinerary, I said we're gonna go over to Great Harbor because we're gonna go to Foxy's that night, right? And we're gonna party it up at Foxy's and hopefully we wake up in the morning not still a little inebriated from the night before. And then we're gonna go right around the corner to White Bay and Soggydollarbar. Now, again, a lot of people take their charters over there. It's really crowded over there. The mooring balls are kind of a little far away from the beach, or you can try to anchor right there. A lot of people just do it right on the beach. I don't know if your charter company would like that, but as a matter of fact, MarineMax told me not to even go over there last time. I had the 54 there. So I just dinghy over, and why not? I mean, it's just really quick and easy. I don't have to let go of the mooring ball and work our way over, then fight for a mooring ball. Just leave it right there in Great Harbor and get in your dinghy and go around the corner. It's perfect. Okay, also in my itinerary, I talked about stopping off in Soper's Hole, right? So as we head south, now as you're seeing, we're going counterclockwise all around Tortola here. So now we're gonna head south. Soper's Hole has been rebuilt. It looks gorgeous now, lots of mooring balls. There's some slips available there as well if you wanna spend the night. Of course, I've gone on and on about Omar's Fusion, which is a restaurant there. There's a couple of locations on Tortola now with Omar's Fusion. Indian and Caribbean food mixed, incredible. After you stop there, you're leaving Soper's Hole, you have to go in between Little Thatch Island and Frenchman's Key, and then you're headed southeast towards Norman Island. And of course, we're gonna go to the Willie T and all that business, but we're gonna stop at the Indians first and do some snorkeling. This to me is the best snorkeling in the British Virgin Islands. I'm gonna be, blasted about that from other people who like other places, but I just love this spot. There are a few mooring balls, not a lot, But, you know, be patient because people don't stay on them very long. So you can just kind of wait your turn, grab a mooring ball, snorkel for 30, 45 minutes, and then move on, let somebody else have the ball. But after we're done with that, now we're gonna go over to Norman's, okay? I would get a ball as far left or east as possible. And that's because A, it's closer to the beach and closer to the restaurant, the Pirate's Bite, which you're probably gonna have dinner there that night. And the other reason, it's the furthest away from the Willie T, which is over on the west side of the bay. And that's where, you jump, you eat and you jump and you do all that business and you drink from a surfboard. Oh my God, it's incredible. And so you just want to park your boat, grab a mooring ball, then dinghy over to Willie T. It's just the way to go. It's a fun, fun day. Just make sure you get back to your charter to try to chill a little bit, kind of sober up a little bit before dinner, and then make your way into the Pirate's Bite. It's a gorgeous place to have dinner. All right, after you finish that, we're gonna come out of the bay there, we're gonna head north a little bit, and we're gonna turn the corner around Peter Island, head over past Salt Island straight to Cooper Island, and we're gonna find a mooring ball there at Mackinac Bay. By the way, I haven't mentioned boatie ball at all during this entire video, but boatie balls are all over the place in the BVI nowadays. There are different ways to reserve those balls. You have to get up early, like 7 a.m. to reserve one, or you can reserve some in advance. I'm not quite sure. The rules kind of keep changing, so I'm not sure exactly what the rules are currently. I also know that people will grab your ball that you've reserved and there's not much you can do about it, but call boatie ball, but there's not really much they'll do about it. It's very frustrating, and I think people will learn how that, eventually this is the kind of the way of the future. So people need to understand that if you don't reserve one of these boatie balls, you can't get on them. It's not allowed, but I don't know, bring some torpedoes or something. I don't know what to do. Anyway, at Cooper, look, it's all about relaxing and just swimming, jumping off your boat. The dinner there is great. Of course, I've talked about this over and over. I love that damn rum bar. I wish they changed the lighting in there. It's too bright, right? You want your rum bar to be a little darker. I need to get some of my lighting friends out there and fix that. But to me, it's just a great way to end the trip because on the next day, we got to turn our boat in, right? And we're right across the Sir Francis Drake Channel from Rowtown, where the moorings is, or Nanny Key, where MarineMax is. So it's an easy jaunt to get back to your base, turn your boat in, get in a taxi, go to the airport if you're going to Beef Island and flying out. But a lot of people have been doing a lot of private water taxis, and you can do that from anywhere. They'll pick you up at Nanny Key or anywhere since it's private, and that's kind of the way to go nowadays, I think. Okay, that's it. I hope that was good for you. I've kept these routes for years and years and years, and so I wanted to share them with you. And so this is kind of a good companion video to the 7-day itinerary. I've had a lot of messages, really sweet messages from you guys over the years about that video and about how it's helped plan your trip. So I hope this also helps plan your trip as well. Have a great night. Oh, and by the way, merch, thewanderinghillbilly.com. Please buy shirts and hats and all that kind of stuff. Trust me, I'm not making any money on any of this stuff. I just think this is fun to do, and I'm just having a blast doing it. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. See you next time.